everyone, and welcome to this episode. Today I will be talking about how to study for exams. So if you're currently a student at university, school, college, or are just learning something new, this episode is definitely for you. And be sure to listen till the end, because there I will be sharing with you 3 simple don'ts, so what not to do when studying, and this will probably surprise you. So let's not waste any more time and get right into this with scoping the subject. So what they told us in pilot school when planning a flight is to always go from big to small. So if you, for example, fly from Zurich to Berlin, so from Zurich, Switzerland to Berlin, Germany, we should first look at the weather from Europe. So from Europe, or the big in general. Then we go into the smaller. From Switzerland and Germany, we take the weather. And then look at the 2 airports, Zurich and Berlin. And afterwards, only then really at the end, look at the weather for the little airports in between when flying from Zurich to Berlin. So to really go from big, so Europe, to small, so to the little airports we fly by on our way to Berlin. And that's really the same when studying for a subject. And what many people do wrong is to maybe start at the chapter 1.1.1, where we look at when we take, for example, coding with Python. So wanting to learn coding with Python, where we look at this chapter at the data types on the variables. So a really in-depth topic. But we don't even know what it is about coding. What coding is about. So this is like immediately looking at the weather at a tiny airport 1,000 kilometers away from Zurich. There it is maybe raining. But in general, when we are looking at the weather from Europe, it is actually sunny all the way. Our brain does not know in which drawer to put a small topic if we just start reading and don't know what programming is actually about. However, if we first scope the subject and look at all the big headlines, at all the chapters, we can see, okay, chapter 1, for example, is syntax. Then chapter 2 is how to make comments in coding. Then chapter 3 is about variables. Chapter 4 about strings. And chapter 5 about booleans. So for all those people who don't really know how to code, we're now just covering the basic topics of learning how to code. So the really basic big topics. When scoping the subject, we can just set a timer for no more than 15 minutes. And we really read roughly through the whole script we want to learn. And we read through the bold or underlined passages and summaries at the end of the chapter. They're always, normally they're really, what the really important things are in the book when they're especially highlighted. So we just skip really through the book and don't read every single page. Otherwise it will take hours if it's the whole book. And then we already have a rough overview of the subject, and our brain has noticed the structure of the book and has a rough idea what we're going to read soon then in detail. It has already remembered and seen the pages. And we know it will be sunny in Europe. And we have a basic understanding of what we are going to face when making the flight from Zurich to Berlin. So now when we read any chapter, the brain knows where to put the information and can then really better connect the dots, knows what's behind and in front of it when reading. And this is really the first very important step to scope the subject. So to really go from big to small, from Europe to the little airports, and that the brain really recognizes what it already has scoped and what it has already gone through, and then go into little detail. Now I want to give you on your way another 3 don'ts, so what you shouldn't do when studying. And this will probably be a shock. Again, they are all evidence-based from books and articles, and when I heard of them, of the 3 don'ts to not do when studying, I was quite surprised because I've done it for years, and research really shows that these things are very, very inefficient and will not have a great impact when studying. So the first don't is to do not reread a textbook when studying. This means you will not score better at a test if you read a textbook for the second time. The second point is highlighting maybe looks nice, but will not at all contribute to a better grade. And the third point is taking notes from a lecture will not improve your test score either. So thank you very much for listening. I hope this episode was fun for you, and be sure to go on my website neurohackingly.com and check out my newest blog post about how not to overthink, and be sure also to listen to my next podcast episode. There I will be revealing a big surprise. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, bye bye.